Yeah, I think, finals week is always tough because you're certainly looking at, the priority, obviously getting the work done academically, guys knocking out papers, finals, and making sure they're good there. And we've done a good job in the classroom to this point, and obviously finishes today. So look forward to having that behind us. In terms of, practice, I think, as we discussed in the post game, and I think even in the pregame to Queens, it's good when you play, get tested and you play another really good team because it shows you a lot about your team. And I think we took a lot of information. We obviously did some things well. We played really well in stretches. Our defense in the first half was, outstanding overall. And so there was a lot, you can go back and say we did those things at a high level. Obviously, second half, we were completely outplayed and made enough plays to win the game. Voss with some huge shots and Julius Brown with some defensive plays. Devin made a defensive play late, but 11 or 12 offensive rebounds in the second half, 14 turnovers in the second half. We always pride ourselves on being sound and tough, and I don't think we were either of those things in the second half against Queens. And so, it's to work on improving, and that's always the question. When you're winning, you get in and you get to work and you try to get better. When things are not going well, you get in and get to work and try to get better. And that's the key, And like I told them, I said, the Queens game gave us this information. And it's not necessarily new information. I mean, we saw the same information against Carson Newman. So you got to figure out, does winning negate that? Like, what do you want to do with the information? Do you say, well, we won, so it's not relevant. We won, so the result was what we wanted, and how we got there doesn't matter? Or do you take that and say, man, we did some good things. We really, operated at a high level in stretches on both ends of the floor, but we've got to be a lot better to accomplish what we hope to achieve.
Obviously, you have this break, have 3 games in a 7-day stretch, then another extensive break with Christmas coming up. Is it really good to have these, I would say, extended breaks for guys to get well rested and to work on stuff that the team needs to work on, or would you rather have smaller breaks?
I mean, I'm always, it is what it is. I mean, the break over Christmas is mandated, Division II, and I like it mainly because I get to go to Miami and sit on the beach and get some sun and thaw out from the winter. But I think, you obviously like to have maybe a game in between, like in this scenario, midweek or whatever. But 8-day break was good. We gave the guys off, 2 of the days. We've had a couple lighter practices. We'll kind of crank back up. We tried to yesterday, not without much success, but we'll try to really get cranked up today, tomorrow, because you do have 3 games in 7 days. And the way we do things, we'll have a very limited turnaround time because we'll play Sunday. We won't practice Monday. We'll watch film Monday. And then we'll have a 1-day prep for Lenoir-Rhyne, who presents a lot of challenges on Tuesday. So we got to get ready for Tennessee Wesleyan. Got to also kind of at least lay the groundwork for what it's going to be with Lenoir-Rhyne. And then, Thursday we'll come in after the Lenoir-Rhyne game and kind of turn our attention to Kentucky Wesleyan. I do think, once that Christmas break is over, that's really your last, extended time of the year where, hey, we don't have a game right around the corner. It's the last time where you can say, hey, we can really utilize. You want to get better all year, but so much of it when you have just 2-day turnarounds is preparing for the opponent and game planning and figuring out how you're going to counteract what they do and how you're going to utilize your strengths and all those things. It's so really that week of Christmas, this week, and then the week of Christmas, and the week of Christmas even more because there's no classes, no conflicts. Every focus is completely on basketball. You got to take advantage of that because that's really your last time to have kind of practice without interruption. You're able to kind of get done and get work done and hopefully make a big jump. And then you're right in the throes of conference play with at Newberry. I think we come home and host Wise and then host Catawba right out of the gate. So some really good tests as the new year turns. So back to work this week's important. We got to finish it strong. We got to have good practices today, tomorrow. We got to be ready to play on Sunday against Tennessee Wesleyan, and then quick turnaround for a big conference game at home on Wednesday. So we'll hopefully be better this week, take the information that we gleaned from the Queens game, utilize it appropriately and say, hey, these are things we were exposed in. These are areas we're not performing in at a high enough level. And again, the defensive rebounding is not new information. I mean, we have not turned the ball over a lot. We did turn it over. We didn't do a very good job of being physically tough in the second half in terms of owning our space and being strong with the ball and all the things we preach, ball toughness. And obviously it also kind of manifests itself on the glass, right? I mean, those are physical toughness things, and we weren't very good in either of those things, and that's why we talked about, best teams are sound, they're tough, and they're together, right? And so we have to be more sound on both ends. We got to certainly play with more physical toughness, and I think our togetherness is pretty good. But we shared the ball at 20 assists, whatever. But there's a long way for us to go, a lot to improve, and so we'll just get back, grind out these couple days, and hopefully be better on Sunday, and then moving forward.
Come in on Monday after the Tennessee Wesleyan game, obviously a game that kind of everybody's expecting LMU to win. What will y'all as a staff kind of go over and say, okay, that Sunday was a success, or no, Sunday was not a success?
Yeah, I mean, I think you always go in every game and you understand in competition. I mean, I know that what the expectations are, it's going to be, we're going to win, and I grasp that. But when you're coached long enough, I mean, crazy stuff happens. I think people probably thought, Northwest was going to beat Central Missouri, who was 3-5 at the time, and Northwest has won 46 in a row, right? So anytime you're in competition, we talk with our guys all the time about appropriate fear and having great respect for your opponent, understanding when you're in competition, anything can happen. So that would be the first thing. And then for me, in terms of success, I've never been, I understand we're in a bottom line business, and obviously winning is the goal, but I want to see us play better, and I want to see us take the stretches where we've been really good and extend those stretches. You're not going to be a championship team if you play well in stretches. Like I said, we did enough things in the first half against Queens to build a 20-point cushion. So when we kind of didn't do those things in the second half and didn't play well, and they did play well, again, credit them for coming out and really going after us in the second half. And I thought, it was kind of epitomized with that, I think, second possession where they got about 4 offensive rebounds and ripped it out of our hands and laid it in, and you could see that energized them. And we weren't ready in the second half, but that first half stretch gave us a cushion and allowed us to hold on. So I want to see us play 40 minutes and compete, have our competitive spirit be right, and be more of who we want to be on both ends for 40 minutes. We know what it looks like when we're good and we're flying around defensively and we're scrambling and covering for each other and we're active. And we know offensively what it looks like when we're playing with pace in the full court and pace in the half court, and we're cutting and moving and pitching ahead and really working to generate wide open shots. And we know the pratfalls when we don't do that. And there's been too many stretches to this stage where we're not doing those things. So that to me would constitute a successful Sunday, where I feel like we took some of these stretches and we've extended them, and we look more like who we want to be and the team we want to be for 40 minutes.
As you prepare for Lenoir-Rhyne on Wednesday, getting back into league play, what are the biggest challenges that Lenoir-Rhyne so far does it look like they're going to present to us?
They present a lot of challenges. Everett does a really good job. They run good stuff. They put their guys in position to be successful. R.J. Gunn is a mismatch nightmare. He's the way they're playing, he's playing the 5 for them, and obviously averaging, I think, 21, 22 points a game. Can stretch you from the 3, can post you, can go off the bounce. They do a great job of utilizing him in pick and rolls and ghosting action and setting step ups and popping and rolling. And so they've got shooting around that. I mean, I think they lead the league in attempts, in 3-point attempts. They get up a ton of threes, really space the floor. They got a bunch of guys that can make shots. Simmons has been historically, one of the best shooters in the league. If you go back the last few years, a guy that makes a ton of shots. And so they spread you out. They really are hard to guard. Gunn is as tough a matchup as there is in the South Atlantic Conference. And they're another good team. I mean, there's in this league, there's really no nights off. There's no night where you walk in and say, we can kind of mail this one in. Lenoir-Rhyne's really good. Beat us last time we played them down at their place, and we'll have to obviously take care of our business Sunday, but have great preparation, because I think again they're going to really force you to be on point and execute at a high level in terms of what you need to do to try to limit them and take away their strains, because they have a bunch of them.